In this next tutorial, what I'm going to do is show you how to do the remaining two items in my assignment, and that is HTML table and how to stick in a form. So let's say I have no idea how to do a table in HTML. You're me, your teacher, I'm busy helping someone else. So what do? Well, don't sit there and do nothing. Here's what you should do. You go to, well, one thing you do, w3schools.com, HTML tutorials, tables. Look at the first example. Here's some example of tables. So what I'm going to do here is table. Let's look at this. Table and slash table. So this coding here defines this table. This is a simple one column table. That's it. So let's have a look at this very, very quickly. So table, start tag, table, end tag. That defines the start of the table and the end of the table. This table only has one row. Okay, you can see it here. This table has one row. Okay, and that first row is defined here. That table has one data cell, and that's defined here. All right. This table also has a border of size 1, and that is, you can see the border around the table. Okay, and that's it. So the row starts here and the row ends here. You have to tell the browser where your table row ends. Okay, within the table row is one cell, and again, you have to tell the browser where that cell ends. Okay, now again, because this is a programming course, and because we're not really too interested in being super familiar with HTML, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this. Okay, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it inside of my Dreamweaver. So just for no reason at all, I'm going to paste it right underneath right here. Okay, you notice the color coding. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my HTML document, F12 to run it, and okay, now there's my table right down here. Now again, it's kind of close to my image here. Let's add a couple of blank lines. So this is my table. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a break tag, another break tag, a couple of blank lines. Save it. Let's have another look at it. There, that looks a little bit better. All right, before and after. So the instructions say to have at least 2 rows and at least 2 columns. All right, so let's do that. So table start tag, table end tag. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, you notice also in my criteria, I also said that your code should be neat and tidy, well spaced out, and staggered. This is what I mean by staggered coding. The table start tag, table end tag, and that encompasses everything in here. So everything between the table and slash table, what I want to see you do is I want to indent it. So simply highlight the stuff in between the table and slash table, and then hit tab once, and there you indented it. By indenting, you're showing that the coding, the indented coding, is enclosed by the table and slash table. You're showing it visually. Now this is pretty simple. You don't really need, I mean, you know, why do you do it? I mean, it doesn't seem like it does anything, because this is so easy that it's easy to see that the TR tags are within the table tags. But when things get complicated, it's not going to be that obvious. And for now, you just need to trust me that this is how I want to see you do it. So again, table tag, slash table, and anything between these two tags, I want to show visually that they are enclosed by the table and slash table. I want to indent it. So this creates one row. Okay. So how would I create a second row? Well, I probably would add another set of TR tags. So what I'm going to do, hit enter. I go TR. Okay. Enter, and the slash TR. Now let's see what that does. So I should have a second row. My first row and my second row. Okay. Now let's see what that looks like. So Control S to save, F12 to view. No second row. Problem here. The reason why I don't have a second row is because there's nothing in that second row. It's blank. You notice here in this first row I have one table cell. So in my second row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a table cell. I'm going to go open bracket, TD, close bracket, and I'm going to type in hello world, close bracket, slash TD. Oops. close bracket slash, and it adds the close tag for me. So now when I save it, Control S and view it at 12, okay, now I have a second row. Pretty simple. Not a whole lot to it. Okay, now the instructions say I want 2 rows and at least 2 rows and 2 columns. Now how do I create a second column? So I want to create a second column here. Now let's go back to Dreamweaver. Now to create a second column, what I want to do is I want to actually add another TD here. So here's my table, here's my entire table, here's my first row. In that first row, I want to create a second column in that first row. So I go another TD here, okay, and I'm going to go first row, second column, slash, bracket slash TD. So if I save it, I view it, here we go. Here's the first row, second column. Now this one's blank, so if I don't want it to look goofy, I'm gonna have to do something about it. So now because the first row here of my table has okay, this is the first row, has 2 columns. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a second column to this one too. So I'll go TD, okay, second row, second column, slash TD. Oops, slash TD. Save it. Go back to your web. Control S to save, and then F12. There you have it. This is my 2 row, 2 column table. And that's pretty much it when it comes to tables. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do with tables. Just do a search and you'll see. So what I want to show you from here is I want to repeat about the staggering. Okay. Table start tag, table end tag. The first row, the second row. The table row tag starts, table row tag ends. You notice that in between here and here, okay, what I just highlighted is the coding that it is enclosed by the table tag. I indented it to show that it is part of the table tag, to do that visually. But you also want to notice here that these 2 lines, okay, the TDs, okay, these are the table cells. The table cells are also within the TR, are within that row. So the table cells are enclosed by this table row and this slash table row. So what I did is I indented it a second time to show that that these 2 tags are within these ones here. All right. So to show that the 2 table cell tags are within the table row and slash table row, and that indenting is really important to keep things kind of neat and tidy. All right. So at this point, what I also want to show you is that you can put anything you want inside of a table. So what I'm going to do here is I have my link here, and just for no real reason at all, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my link, and this is the cool thing about Dreamweaver. You can highlight it and you can drag it wherever you want. So I'm going to drag it inside of my first table cell, okay, and then when I save it, Control S and then F12 to view it, you see here my link is now inside my table cell. Okay, so what I can do now is, let's say my paragraph, I could also stick that within my table cell. So what I'm going to do here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight. Oh, if you want to highlight lines, really neat. You just highlight the line numbers like this, okay, and I'm going to drag that inside my table cell, just like that. All right. Now it doesn't look very pretty, so I'm going to clean it up. Watch this, like that. There. Well, not great, but good enough. Okay, and that's also within my table cell. So Control S to save, F12 to view, and there you have it. So the last thing I'm going to do, if you haven't guessed it already, I'm going to stick my image. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the image, and I can drag it to wherever I want, and I'm going to stick it within another table cell. So the tables can hold basically any kind of data, flash, you name it. save it, F12 run, and there you have it. Okay,